So with no preseason games as the backdrop, time for what are the odds? And according to BetMGM, they have the Giants starting 0-4 at plus 240. So that means if you bet $100, guys, you're going to win 240. They also start the season 4-0. That's plus 8,000. So if you bet 100, you're going to win 8,000. All right, as far as the New York Jets, they have them starting this season at 0-4 at plus 400. So bet 100, you win 400. They also have them starting the season at 4-0. That's plus 5,000. So you bet 100 to win 5,000. So guys, no preseason games. Does it hurt the Jets, the Giants, or both? Eamon, I'm going to ask you that first.
Well, I certainly think it hurts the Giants a whole lot more. As Jonas pointed out, Joe Judge has never been an NFL head coach before. So if he doesn't have any preseason games, what is this going to be like for him? Also, it's a whole new staff working with a young quarterback. And the schedule's pretty tough. Not as tough as the Jets. We'll get into that. But the Jets are more comfortable with their first week opponent in Buffalo than the Giants are with the Steelers. I think the Jets have a tougher first 4 games overall, not by a whole lot, but a tougher first 4 games overall than the Giants. But I just think the inexperience factor for Joe Judge being a head coach and not knowing his roster at all, if there's no preseason, it's going to hurt the Giants a whole lot more than the Jets.
I think it hurts the Giants more. I made the point about Joe Judge, and everything that Amy just said is exactly true. It's also the way that schedule lays out for the Giants. Look at how this guy is being thrown into the fire. And listen, I think he can handle it. I think he's going to prove to everybody he can handle it. I think Daniel Jones is going to be the real deal. So I think they will withstand this test. Which is why I would think that they're going to start off maybe 1-3 or something like that, which I think, considering the strength of their schedule, would be a good start for them, especially if they're competitive. For the Jets, the challenges are very simple. You got to work C.J. Mosley back in. You got to work Avery Williamson back in. You got to hope Sam Darnold's meshing with a wide receiving core, and a new offensive line for both teams has to be cohesive at that point. And we know, Ralph, the best way for that to happen is for them to actually play together. And with reduced preseason games, will we see them play together as much as we need to?
Right. Certainly you would want them to build some chemistry. But for the Jets, the big advantage is it's basically the same team, except for the offensive line, which is completely rebuilt. Most of the key players were there last year. Even C.J. Mosley was there long enough to learn about Greg Williams' defense. So they have the fact that they know the system, and a lot of them have been together in some capacity. So they don't have to worry as much about that as the Giants do, where you've got a second-year quarterback learning a new offense, an entire defense that has been basically rebuilt over the last couple of years, now getting a new defensive scheme. And yes, the head coach having never done it before on any level. There are so many disadvantages built in for the Giants. And then you add in the fact that, they've got the Steelers, they've got the 49ers, they've got the Rams. And on top of that, a trip to Chicago. It's a terrible schedule for them at the start in a good year. But the fact that they have so many things working against them right now, that 0-4 bet is not a bad one to make.